Hey guys, it's me again. I'm back here with another video. This is the third time that I've had to record this video because for some reason the audio has been really messed up on my iPhone because I record from my iPhone. I don't use anything else to record. But anyway, making this video because one of my subscribers asked me to do a video on this topic. The topic of this video is going to be how to acquire a language, how to learn a language, or I guess really it should be study tips on learning a language because I'm not really going in depth into one language that I personally know. I want to make this kind of applicable to anybody. So before I even go forward, I'm going to make sure that the audio is working and then I will obviously start with the video. Okay, so bienvenido, bienvenue, ahlan wa salam to this video. So this video obviously is going to be talking about languages and some tips I can help you guys out with. The reason why I'm making this video is because obviously someone asked and requested for this. So if any of you guys want to request anything else, please don't be shy, ask in the comments. I definitely will do it. Another thing I want to do before I start the video is shout out to all the people that have been subscribing to my channel. I see you guys. I wish I could thank you guys individually, but I have no idea how to do that, but I'm grateful for that. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are coming from my video that I did recently on the TikTok painting. So if you guys want to see me do anything specifically on the channel, please let me know in the comments because I'll definitely be happy to do it because I've been struggling recently of ideas to do during quarantine. So definitely do that. On topic of this video is I'm doing this because I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to learning or trying to teach yourself a language. So basically small background on me is I grew up in Spain and I attended a bilingual school where half of the day was taught in English, half of the day was in Spanish. After that, I took a lot of Spanish classes and courses throughout my life. In high school, I took Spanish for a couple years, switched to French for 2 years, and in that final year, which was my senior year of high school, I took French and Arabic at the same time. When I moved on to college, I minored in Spanish and Arabic. In terms of Spanish and Arabic, if you guys want me to do a specific video on that, please let me know and I'll definitely do that because I'll definitely have fun doing that and teaching you guys what I've learned. So that will definitely be cool. That's all I can say. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start, I guess really start this video. So yeah. Okay, so one of the very first tips I'm going to give is to find a teacher. Now when I say teacher, I don't mean like a professor or a teacher. Now this could be someone that you find on YouTube, a website that has resources for you. So I think that's really important whether you're paying for a tutor or a YouTube teacher or someone on YouTube that does languages. So I think that's really important because even though if you're going into a language trying to teach yourself, it's always good to have something to gain some insight from. So like if you're learning a new language and you're trying to learn the vowels and alphabet, it's really good to have a source so you can see how a person's mouth moves to know how your mouth needs to move, and also to hear how something exactly is supposed to be said, basically. So that's what I mean by teacher. So many different ways you can go about this, especially now during quarantine and everything. So that's definitely a big one that I actually advise. The second thing that I think a lot of people do not talk enough about is to pick a dialect. When I say dialect, no matter what language you learn, you're always going to learn like the basics, the fundamentals of everything. But what a lot of people do not express is about how dialect is going to affect that. So for instance, I'm going to take it, I guess, something from personal experience. Like I learned Spanish over in Spain. I learned more of a formal way, and certain words and certain things that are expressed there are not expressed the same here in America versus also in South America or Central America. In my opinion, like 3 types of Spanish. So there's like Spaniard Spanish. There's American Spanish, which is more aligned to Mexican Spanish or Central, and so it's completely different. So I don't know how to explain this perfectly, but let's say it's really hard to explain. So it's basically, the best way I can put it is that people use a lot of colloquialism, so it's the same thing in English. So the way we talk here is not the same that necessarily people talk all the way over in Australia or in England. It's just a little different. We use different words as of the geographical differences. It's just going to be a little different. It's the same thing with other languages. I know for a fact that like you could meet somebody that is really good in Spanish, like their family speaks it, but like if you ask them to translate a Bad Bunny song, they're kind of going to be able to get the gist of it, but they might not understand everything because Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican and he probably uses a lot of Puerto Rican slang and colloquialism, which makes it just a little bit more difficult. So I would say that's one of the things you should think about, whether it's an accent that you want to learn from a specific place of that language that you're learning, or just the dialect in general, because that is really gonna make a difference in understanding what exactly you're going for in terms of your goals in that target language. Tip number 3 is that your bookstore or Amazon is really going to be something you really need in terms of resourcing stuff. So obviously I have a couple of books here. There's these 3 dictionaries, and then I have these 3. Dictionaries are really good because obviously look for a certain word or a certain verb, so that's really going to be helpful. There's a lot of grammar books. I bought this book. It's a Spanish grammar book because when I was in college, I took actually 2 different classes that were very grammar intensive, and it was very difficult because grammar tends to be very more strict. That comes in any language, because when you're writing or reading stuff, it is very formal, and when you're writing, you have to use very strict rules, versus speaking, it's a little bit more ease or laid back because you get to use slang and words are cut off, The more you learn languages, the more you're going to understand that. So make the bookstore your best friend. It's going to help you. So whether you're reading something and you don't know one word, or you can't figure out based on everything that it's surrounding, you can just go look to that dictionary for reference. This right here, my mom bought me. You can find these anywhere. They have books, so you can even find ones that are like at very beginner basic levels to help you get your confidence in terms of reading. So don't feel bad if you have to go to somewhat of a baby book or a children's book, but you have to be realistic about your level in the language, because you don't want to go somewhere too difficult or too easy. For instance, with me, my level in Spanish is very hard to fine tune, but I know it's somewhere on an intermediate, because if I read something too easy, I find it super boring. So I'm afraid to share this, but this is the first book in my life that I've ever semi-destroyed. This one is called Yo no soy tu perfecta hija y mexicana. So this is basically translating to say, I'm not your perfect Mexican daughter. It's really cool. It's a chapter book. I am on chapter 15. I really like this because it's challenging and I'm learning vocab, and I'm also learning some type of colloquialisms in Mexican Spanish. So it's really cool, and I would suggest try finding a book in your language that you can read, and don't be afraid to carry around a dictionary with it, because you're learning. It's a process, and you have to be honest with yourself, because that's the only way you're going to be able to learn. So this next tip is basically write it down. I remember, I think that there is supposedly a psychology fact that says writing something down is the equivalent of saying it 7 times out loud. So whether it is you taking notes, these are notes I have from when I was doing my study abroad in Spain. These are my crazy notes. So you can see a little bit that there's a mixture of Spanish and Arabic. The way I took my notes in college was a bit crazy. So you guys know, like shorthand, you could write a shorter version of a word to make it easier. If I was typing, I would use a mixture of Spanish and English, and whichever word was easier to type faster, I would just choose that word, whether it was in English or Spanish. If I was writing, then it really got crazy. So it would be in English, Spanish, and Arabic. That way I could still listen at the same time. I would reserve that tip for people who are more advanced in the language, but I really used to hate when people would ask for my notes because I'd just be like, well, it's not gonna make sense to you. Definitely write stuff down as much as you can, or just write stuff down, even if it doesn't matter, just write it down. No matter what vocabulary you're learning, it's really going to help you in the long run, so I really suggest that. So this next tip you've probably heard 1,000 times, and hopefully you haven't heard it the way I'm about to explain it. So whether you're watching a music video, a TV show, or a movie, not only do you need to watch it with subtitles, you need to watch it with subtitles in a target language. Now, when I say target language, that means whatever language you're learning. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys watch it with English subtitles. That's not really going to help you. Now, unless it's a language that's one of the hardest languages in the world, and it's like Arabic or Mandarin or Farsi, whatever language that like these, that they have their own specific characters that you're still learning and you can't really keep up as fast as if it were in Roman letters that you actually are familiar with, and you can dissect those a lot faster. You need to watch it in the target language. So for instance, for me, when I watch something in Spanish, like a telenovela, a movie, a TV show, or like something I've watched 1,000 times, like a Disney movie or a Pixar movie, I'm going to watch it with Spanish subtitles. Why? Because it will be easier for my brain. So whatever I'm hearing and watching, it's gonna match in the subtitles that I'm reading. So that way it makes it easier for you to pick out certain phrases or learn how to say that phrase in that way the language expresses it, or you can learn different vocabulary that easier. And since you're already familiar with what you're watching, you don't have to think as hard. So I would suggest trying to watch something that you've watched 1,000 times, your favorite movie, and watch it with those subtitles in that way. That way you're learning different vocabulary, and you're learning how to express certain ideas and topics in a different language, because it might be expressed in a different way in terms of translation and everything else. So I really suggest watching subtitles in the target language. That's basically all that I have today for you guys. So I really hope the tips and tricks that I shared with you guys today is really going to help you on your journey of learning whatever language you're learning. If you guys want me to teach you something specific, so what I basically have a lot of knowledge of is Spanish, a teensy bit in French, but I'm probably not going to do that. But I do know a lot about Arabic. If you guys want anything specific dealing with those languages, I will be happy to make videos about that. Just let me know, just by commenting. So please, if you guys have any suggestions, any nice criticism, please leave them in the comments. I am very open to it. I'm still new to this YouTube thing, and I'm here basically for you guys' enjoyment. What else can I say? In terms of the language you're learning, do not beat yourself up. It is a journey. You might not always be perfect. It is it's just about you, so don't always beat yourself up. I myself, as advanced as I can be, I still have my setbacks, but it is all a journey, and it just takes time. Be comfortable with your progress. All a learning journey. Thank you guys for watching. Again, follow me, social media. Big shout out to all the people who have been following me or subscribing recently, so I'm really happy about that. So I'll see you guys in my next video, so bye for now.
These haters on my body, shake them all.